This is an opportunity to recognize formally many of you. Each one of you are special in your own way, and each one of you have done some extraordinary things all year long. But there are certain people that, for luck of the draw sometimes, get handled and saddled with cases and calls, situations, investigations that allowed them the opportunity to rise up above and go above and beyond the call of duty. So the first personnel we're going to recognize here is Detective Amy Champagne. So Amy, if you want. Detective Champagne was assigned the overall responsibility for conducting the investigation, which involved allegations by a foreign exchange student temporarily residing in the United States. The complex investigation conducted by Detective Champagne involved extensive interviews as well as the execution of search and seizure warrants, which led to the acquisition of crucial evidence. This investigation was begun on April 19, 2020, when the Bedford Police Department initiated an investigation into allegations of invasion of privacy at 51 Barrington Drive. The painstaking investigative work of Detective Champagne developed evidence which identified an adult suspect involved in the production of child pornography. Additional investigative efforts by Detective Champagne led to the identification of additional victims of the same suspect. The exemplary investigative work by Detective Champagne led to the indictment and eventual conviction of the suspect in the United States District Court for the District of New Hampshire for the manufacturing child pornography and a sentence of 15 years in the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Outstanding case. In addition to the federal charges, Detective Champagne's investigation led to the identification of other witnesses and victims, leading to additional state charges against the subject in Hillsborough County Superior Court. The dogged and persistent efforts of Detective Champagne in a complex international and domestic child pornography investigation resulted in the successful prosecution and incarceration of a serial sexual predator who preyed upon the unsuspecting juveniles close to him and provided closure to the victims and their families. Your investigative acumen, your persistence and dedication in connection with this investigation has earned you this official award for meritorious service. Congratulations. Great case. Really great investigation. Next up is Officer Adrian Dupuy. While assigned to the Patrol Operations Division during the pendency of 2021, you consistently engaged in proactive policing that led to numerous interdiction stops, resulting in the seizure of illicit controlled substances and several felony arrests associated with these stops, searches, and seizures. During 2021, you were responsible for 11 cases for which you were the arresting officer and 2 wherein you were the assisting officer in connection with the seizure and arrest. On March 4th, you responded to a motor vehicle complaint in progress, which led to the arrest of a subject on 4 counts of possession of controlled drugs. On June 7th, you contacted suspicious pedestrians walking in the roadway, which led to the arrest of both subjects on 2 counts, or a subject on 2 counts of possession of controlled drugs. And on October 28th, you contacted 2 bicyclists, which resulted in the arrest of both subjects for possession of controlled drugs. These are but a few of the notable drug investigations for which you're responsible, while, quote, looking beyond the stop that earned you this commendation for meritorious service. And Officer Dupuy is also responsible for arresting Batman, right? The Country Inn and Suites jumper. But I think that was in 2020. All right, next up is Field Training Officer Norm Frank. On August 18, 2021, while assigned to the Patrol Operations Division on routine patrol on Route 101, you conducted a motor vehicle stop on a vehicle for an expired registration. During your contact with the operator, you observed suspicious behavior and subsequently learned the occupants were headed to a methadone clinic. Your roadside investigation led to the seizure of a quantity of benzodiazepine and the arrest of both subjects. On November 12, 2021, while assigned as the acting officer in charge of the evening shift, you observed a vehicle that illegally displayed blue lights. You stopped the vehicle based on the blue light violation, and during your contact with the operator, you observed evidence of heroin and fentanyl use in the vehicle. You engaged the operator in conversation, which he's great at doing, right? We all know that, which led to the seizure of heroin and fentanyl. The arrest of the operator for possession of controlled drugs also led to the recovery of stolen credit cards and driver's licenses. These cases are but a very few of the many examples of Field Training Officer Frank's prowess in roadside investigations that led to 8 arrests for possession of illicit controlled drugs and prescription narcotics during 2021, as well as other charges stemming from these investigations. In addition, you led the way in training new officers while preparing them for their careers with the Bedford Police Department. Your dedication to duty and investigative acumen and performance this year has earned you this official Meritorious Service Award. Officer Kennedy and Officer Willoughby. Officer Willoughby, I had to go back to Boston. For his graduation.
Smile.
On Sunday, June 20th, 2021, while assigned to the Patrol Operations Division at approximately 19:02 hours, you responded to Seven's Pond, referenced the report of a 15-year-old male swimming in the pond with friends who failed to resurface after jumping off a rope swing. The report indicated that the victim's friends tried but were unable to locate the victim in the water. You, along with Officer Willoughby, promptly arrived on scene, discarded your duty gear, and immediately jumped into the murky waters of the pond without regard for your own safety. After nearly 30 minutes in the water trying to locate the teen, you discontinued your efforts only after you were ordered and directed out of the water by fire department personnel. While your efforts to locate and save the teen ultimately proved unsuccessful, your complete disregard for personal safety in an attempt to save the life of another under dangerous and potentially deadly conditions evinced the highest degree of dedication to duty as a law enforcement professional and member of the Bedford Police Department. Therefore, in view of the above and your courageous action on June 20th, you are hereby awarded this commendation for life saving. All right, next up we have Lead Communications Specialist Malley, Communications Specialist Higgins, and Communications Specialist Aaron Depew. All right. And the winner is... On August 21st, 2021, Bedford Police Department Communications Specialists Edward R. Higgins and Aaron Depew were on duty in the Bedford Police Department Communications Center when a series of calls were received which first indicated a disorderly conduct situation was active at 250 South River Road, Country Inn and Suites Hotel. Working as a team, Communications Specialists Higgins and Depew developed additional information which indicated that the situation at the Country Inn and Suites was actually an assault in progress that involved an assailant armed with a machete. The critical and vital information regarding the assault in progress was documented and immediately provided to responding officers who found a horrific crime scene that encompassed the parking lot, 3 floors of the hotel, and the lobby where a deceased subject was discovered. In addition to handling multiple calls from residents at the hotel and relaying critical information to responding officers, Communications Specialist Higgins and Depew sent messages via the State Police online telecommunications system to surrounding agencies regarding suspect information. They also dispatched and staged Bedford Fire Department personnel and requested mutual aid from surrounding law enforcement agencies. They were also responsible for contacting off-duty Bedford Police Department personnel to respond to the scene, all the while managing 911 calls and first responder radio traffic. Lead Communications Specialist Nina M. Malley responded to the Communications Center and assisted and managed the flood of calls and radio traffic, as well as the tasks assigned to the center by Incident Command. The homicide suspect fled the scene, but eventually appeared at the lobby of the Bedford Police Public Safety Complex. Communication specialists Higgins and Depew remained calm, keeping the subject occupied until officers took him into custody. Your collective actions on August 21st, 2021, along with other members of the department identified herein, were vital in the mitigation and eventual resolution of a double homicide at an active hotel, and has earned you this official Distinguished Unit Action Award. Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for Monahan. He's waiting. He's doing a phone call to the school. So it's going to the school.
So just a word about that case and Paul for a minute. You can't imagine. I mean, anybody that's been in the communication center, when just a bad wreck happens and other med calls come in and other police calls are happening and you guys are stopping cars left and right, it gets chaotic in there. I can't imagine what it was like when you have the whole, probably was half the hotel calling, right? You have the radio traffic, you had mutual aid, you had a whole flood of traffic coming in from first responders, staging the fire department. That's just a horrendous and really difficult job. And we really thank all of you in communications and even your whole crew in there for doing this stupendous job. It's just unbelievable what you guys do. So thanks again for everything that you're doing. So next up we have Lieutenant Monahan, Lieutenant Bowen, Sergeant Norris, Officer Hayden, Officer Woolbrock, Officer Zonko, Officer Heckler, Officer Corridon, and Officer Drew. All right, assemble. Okay. On August 21st, 2021, Sergeant Scott E. Norris, Officers Michael B. Heckler, Ryan L. Woolbrock responded to 250 South River Road, Country Inn and Suites for an initial report of disorderly conduct, which was later upgraded to an assault in progress. Upon arrival, officers discovered a horrific crime scene that encompassed 3 floors of the hotel, including the lobby and parking lot. A deceased victim of the homicide was discovered on the first floor of the hotel that was occupied by more than 80 adults, children, and pets. Sergeant Norris and Officers Heckler and Woolbrock immediately went into action by securing a chaotic crime scene, established a secure perimeter, and obtained vital suspect information from witnesses. Sergeant Norris requested additional officers and mutual aid support to secure all the floors of the hotel and residents of the hotel. Officers Zonko, Hayden, and Corridon assisted Sergeant Norris in securing the hotel and preserving the safety of the residents during the initial stages of the investigation. Lieutenant Kevin T. Bowen, the first senior member of the department, arrived on scene, assumed incident command, and organized the department's initial response, as well as numerous mutual aid personnel. Lieutenant Bowen was instrumental in the establishment of an organized incident command structure that secured the hotel, protected the crime scene and residents, and cleared a number of calls related to possible suspect sightings. Lieutenant Bowen was also instrumental in organizing and executing a room-to-room search of the hotel that led to the discovery of a second homicide victim. Lieutenant Michael J. Monahan was instrumental in organizing the initial phase of the homicide investigation, as well as the organization and execution of the room-to-room search that led to the discovery of the second homicide victim. Lieutenant Monahan also worked closely with and provided essential investigative support to the New Hampshire State Police Major Crime Squad and Attorney General's Office, leading to the prosecution of the suspect. The suspect was taken into custody at the Bedford Police Public Safety Complex without incident. During initial booking and detention of the suspect, Officer Jeffrey A. Drew obtained additional information which led to the eventual discovery of the second homicide victim. Your collective extraordinary performance and actions, along with other members of the department, identified herein and elsewhere on August 21st, involved a highly complex and extensive homicide scene in an active hotel earns you all this Distinguished Unit Action Award. All right. Okay, so here you go. Lieutenant Monahan. Lieutenant Bowen. Sergeant Morris. Officer Hayden. Officer Wilbrock. Gordon? Sir. The public, you all recognize, but the public really doesn't recognize, with the exception of watching these things occur on Dateline or on commercial television, the enormous amount of work and the tactical expertise that it takes to be able to handle a homicide scene, but let alone a homicide scene in an active hotel with over 80 people, pets, adults, and guests, people that had gone into the room, left their stuff there, left their pets there, left, went out to dinner, and they come back and they find this going on. Being able to respond to that, Sergeant Norris and the officers that made the initial response, I said it over and over again, I said it to the counselors, I said it to the public, was a textbook response. That doesn't come easy. It comes from years and years of training and hard work, and that muscle and mind memory that allows you to do what police departments and big cities all over the country struggle to do. But you folks did it in an exemplary way. And then the follow-up investigation, the incident command, Lieutenant Bowen, the work that Lieutenant Monahan did, everyone in that case was just unbelievable. And it's a product of all your collective hard work and training over the years. And that's a product of the financial support that we've been given by the council over the years to be able to provide that sort of training. So congratulations to each and every one of the award recipients today. You've all earned it, and you should be proud of what you're doing.